Hello students, welcome to Eshwari Thaniksha channel. In this video, we are going to learn about the third type of reaction in this chapter, which is called as displacement reaction. We are going to take few examples and we are going to learn about this reaction, and also we are going to study the fourth type of reaction, which is called as double displacement reaction in this video. Students, if you are new to our channel, subscribe our channel and also share this video with maximum number of students. So now let us start the video. First, let us understand what is displacement reaction, and then let us study some examples. So when an element, so observe these words carefully, when an element displaces another element from its compound, then such type of reaction is called as displacement reaction. For example, take this A plus BC giving AC plus B. So observe here carefully, A is an element and BC is a compound. So in this compound you have two elements, element B and element C. So here in the product you see what has happened. So you can see here B is displaced. You can see B is displaced from this compound and A is combined with C and AC is formed. So when an element A displaces another element B from the compound, then it is called as displacement reaction. Is that clear? So next you can see here Fe is iron, Zn is zinc, Pb is lead. When these metals are more reactive element than copper, make a note of this. This is very important. So iron, zinc and lead are more reactive than copper. So therefore they will displace copper from copper sulfate compound. So copper from its compound. So the meaning of this is, for example, I'll take iron element. So iron, treat with copper sulfate. CuSO4 is copper sulfate. So now what is going to happen here is, here which is more reactive, whether iron is more reactive in nature or copper is more reactive in nature, read the statement and see. So in the statement it is given iron is more reactive. So the element which is more reactive will displace copper. Since iron is more reactive, it will displace copper from copper sulfate solution. So here the answer the product you will be getting here as FeSO4, iron sulfate plus copper. So copper is the solid which is displaced in the reaction. So here there is an experiment. So activity is given in your textbook. So 1.8. So figure 1.8b. You can see here, this is the activity. You will learn about the reaction of iron with copper sulfate. So here what happens is, first you have to take copper sulfate crystals. So what you are taking is copper sulfate crystals. So what is the color of this crystals, copper sulfate? Copper sulfate crystals are blue in color. So they are blue color. So this copper sulfate crystals you are going to add in a beaker containing water. So this is water. So into this water you have to add this copper sulfate crystals. So when you add and dissolve, so what you are going to get is, you are going to get a blue color solution. So here you will be getting a blue color solution. So this is blue color solution. So can you see here in the diagram what is given? A blue color solution you will get. So now what you have to do is, you have to take iron nail. So what is the color of iron nail? Iron nail, it is initially silver gray in color. So this iron nail we are going to dip in copper sulfate solution which is blue in color. Can you see here it is blue in color? Dip this iron nail in copper sulfate solution. So leave it for 20 minutes. So after 20 minutes, if you take that iron nail, you can see it will be in this color. that is, you can see brown color deposition will be there on the iron nail. What is this brown color which is deposited? The brown color which is deposited is nothing but copper. So the copper which is present in copper sulfate solution will get deposited on the iron nail. So on the iron nail you can see copper getting deposited. That is why it will be brown in color. And this is the test tube after the reaction. So after the reaction you can see it will be pale green in color. So this is pale green in color. So what is this solution now? This solution is nothing but iron sulfate. Can you see here? Iron sulfate. So here what we are going to write is, initially copper sulfate is blue in color. This is blue color. So after the reaction you can see iron sulfate is formed, which is pale green in color. Pale green in color. So this is the activity. So you know that iron, since it is highly reactive in nature, it will displace copper. Displace meaning is it will remove. So it will displace copper from copper sulfate solution. As a result you can see copper is separated out as solid, and iron will combine with sulfate and iron sulfate is formed. So color you have to make a note. Copper sulfate is initially blue in color. After the reaction iron sulfate is formed, which is pale green in color. So now let us write two more reactions. So two more reactions. One is with zinc. Zinc reacting with copper sulfate. So this is aqueous. Aqueous meaning is copper sulfate you are dissolving in water. So what is the product you are going to get? So see here what we have written. Zinc is more reactive than copper. Therefore zinc also will displace copper from copper sulfate solution. Meaning is copper will be displaced by zinc. So as a result you can see zinc sulfate is formed, plus you can see copper solid will be displaced. So here zinc sulfate is also aqueous, it will be in water. So this is the second reaction. Third reaction is with lead. Pb is called as lead, Lead, lead. So it is reacting with copper sulfate, aqueous. So again whether lead is going to displace copper from copper sulfate, check here what we have written. Lead is more reactive than copper. So therefore lead also will displace copper from copper sulfate solution. So here you will be writing it as lead sulfate plus copper solid will be displaced. So here you have to, in place of copper you will have to write lead. So lead sulfate is formed. So this is about displacement reaction. Is that clear? Next we will study about double displacement reaction, which is very simple. So double displacement reaction meaning is exchange of two ions will take place. A reaction in which there is exchange of ions between the reactants are called as double displacement reaction. So for example here you can see we have taken sodium sulfate. So here sodium sulfate we have taken. Sodium is having plus sign, sulfate is having minus sign. So it is 2 minus. Similarly barium is having plus sign, 2 plus, and then chlorine is having minus sign. So always students remember that plus will combine with minus. So sodium is going to combine with Cl. So as a result what is the product you are getting here? Sodium chloride. And again this plus is going to combine with minus. So Ba2 plus SO4 2 minus. So what you will get is you will be getting barium sulfate. So remember plus and minus will combine, and here plus and minus will combine. As a result you will be getting two product. Out of this the first one, that is barium sulfate, will form white precipitate. White precipitate meaning is white color solid will be formed. Therefore this reaction is also called as precipitation reaction, because during this reaction precipitate is formed. Precipitate meaning is white color solid will be formed. So this is called as double displacement reaction. So students, is this clear? So if you have any doubts, you can leave in the comment section. In the next video, we will study the fifth type of chemical reaction.